past it.
Bill, what was your perspective on the late call that sent Hunter to the free throw line? And as they reviewed it, did you always think he was going to end up there, or were you thinking maybe TCU would still get the ball?
I had no idea what was going on until I saw it, and then it was an easy call. But thought Hunter sold it well, because if he hadn't sold it, they wouldn't have stopped the play. And then it was an obvious call, but it was unfortunate because unintentional. I don't but the arm definitely swung and definitely was above the shoulder and the mouth, and then he made the free throws, and then we screwed up a play and somehow lucked out, and then we executed perfectly in the last one.
Coach, obviously a wild, I don't know, final 5 minutes or whatever. How did you think you guys finished down the stretch? I mean, what was the key going into the final play, and how did you think they executed?
I thought we executed great. Other than the there's pressure to play when you're always behind. We didn't get the lead, and so we're playing from behind, whether it be 2 or 4. You got to score. We did a great job in that situation, and then when it was tied, was the worst. I mean, terrible execution when they stole the ball, but it led to the foul, and then they're down the stretch. I think PV got loose on the offensive rebound, if I'm not mistaken, and then fortunately it was under 30. We went 2 for 1, so they got the ball back with 38 or whatever it was, so we knew we'd get the last shot, and fortunately we were able to play without calling a timeout, and then we executed it perfectly. Fortunate they fronted the post, which is what we hoped to do, to keep the ball away from Hunter, and we were able to make a good pass. Juan made a great pass.
Coach, what were just your thoughts on the way Tennyson played, number 11 play for TCU tonight?
Yeah, he was great. Jamie has said publicly that he was their best shooter since Desmond, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he played great, and we did a terrible job guarding him, but I thought he was terrific. I thought their whole team played great. I thought it was a great basketball game. What the difference in the game that was their best offense was our offense. I mean, we threw the ball to them, unforced errors, threw it to them, and then they forced some too. But transition offense, you can talk about it all you want to. You can't get back just 3-on-1s and 2-on-1s if you turn it over, and that's what happened tonight. It's just that our ball handling and passing was so poor, but fortunately we rebounded the ball for the most part fairly well, and we shot a pretty good percentage when we did turn it over.
Coach, how important is it for you to find a fourth option besides your big 3? First half, everybody else got 1 point, and those 3 got 40. How important moving forward is it to find somebody else?
Well, I mean, I've said this all along. We're all for that. Juan had a terrible first half. So by Juan's standard, of course, he makes the hardest shot of the game too. So, and he made the pass to win it. So obviously he did all good things, but I think he'd be the first to tell you that he doesn't turn the ball over like that normally. But we're laboring. I mean, Marco didn't have a effective game offensively, and Johnny and Nick were both fine offensively, but you turn it over, at least the layups, it's hard to keep playing, staying in. So yeah, we're all for somebody else stepping up, but we're not going to win all our games with 4 guys doing all the scoring, but that's the way it was today. We need a Marco to come through and do some things offensively and be a stopper defensively. But today we really only had 3 guys that were effective on the offensive end.
Just on that note, what was going through your mind that stretch where you cycled through the 3 freshmen after the half, and then what did you think of what Nick provided after that?
Well, I thought of the guys, he was the best of the guys, without question, and he made 2 real good plays in defensive transition. And the layup he made was strong over somebody, and then of course he made a shot, but then he had a terrible turnover that led to a layup too. So, but I thought Nick did well. He seemed a little shaky the first half, but I thought he was much better second half.
What stood out to you most about what KJ did for you guys on just both ends of the floor?
Well, we can sit here and we say the same thing every game. He was great. He's, made his free throws, he gets 10 rebounds, 7 and 8 from the field. He made a terrible play in transition, which led to a 3 with Tennyson in transition when he tried to skip it, but he's playing lights out. He and Hunter were really good today, really good.
And if you're just on the defensive end of the floor for you guys, where do you feel like the issues were that led to the breakdowns?
Well, this is what's confusing. Now, we had breakdowns, don't get me wrong. If you take 22 points off of 81, where we threw the ball to them and they went and made a layup, that is, that's holding them to 59 points. Now granted, you can't ever do that, but guys, our defense needs work. But our offense was their best offense. We had more assists to them than we had basically throw it to our team. So I'd have to watch the tape to say too much about our defense.
Anything else? Gary?
It's hard guarding 2-on-1s.
We were talking to Hunter about his play at the end of the game, and he said he wasn't nervous. He likes to think of himself as a clutch player. What do you think of his performance after getting smashed in the face?
Well, it was only about 58 seconds of performance, I think, after he got smashed in the face. But he made the free throws, and then we didn't get the defensive rebound, so I had to watch that. Maybe he could have done something there, but fortunately, we went 2 for 1, and I think they got the ball with 40, 42, something like that, and then wasn't enough time for them to go 2 for 1. So worst case scenario, you get the last shot, game tied, and that's what ended up happening. Then we executed pretty good on that last play.
Were you able to talk to Ernest in the line?
Yeah, I said something to him before the game, and I told him he played well, and hope he does well, and those were 2 big free throws he hit. So.
Anything else? Matt?
Thanks. When you talk about your defense, I know you want to watch it too, but Hunter was in here saying it's just great to go out there with a bunch of guys who are just winners. They know how to finish, win games, that kind of thing. Did you feel like the last 3, 4, 5 minutes it kind of clicks like that, and there's a gear that you guys can take it to? Are you seeing that at all with this group?
I'm seeing that the guys all think that they'll figure it out. We didn't figure out against Marquette, but it wasn't a game that was close enough to figure out.
Yeah.
I think we just 15 or 16 or whatever it was. I do think the guys have confidence they can figure it out. TCU, I had to watch the tape. They did a lot of good things, but they also played take them the second half too, and made a lot of good individual plays, which is something that every team that we have had, you're going to have to deal with stuff like that. If you guard their actions, which we didn't do a great job, but it wasn't bad. You guard their actions, the next thing you know, you're relying on guys to make individual plays. I really felt like their players did a better job of making individual plays, and our players did a good job making individual plays. But I do think, from an execution standpoint, from our perspective, we got the ball around the rim several times. They got it around the rim by driving it one-on-one. We got it around the rim by passing it. So, our defense needs to get better, but that was not our problem today. Our problem today was our offense.
And then with KJ, it's asked you this after Kentucky matching up against athletes there, athletes here today. How huge is he in games where you face a team just loaded with athletes and
Well, Miller was,
Right.
he was unbelievable first half, and he had a great game, but I loved it with so much time left, and Miller's out there talking, and KJ's talking right back to him, and they're having fun. And I love that, and that's what this league is all about.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, folks.